So we are on Chapter 11's chapter review on page 708, starting on number 6. So we're going to write this as a single polynomial, some basic distributing. So we're just going to go ahead and distribute that out. So I'm going to get 7m to the third, negative 13m squared, and 12m. Number 7. More distributing. Just got to keep all of our powers straight. So that's 9p to the fourth, because this is a 1. And they're just going to combine here. 9p to the third, negative 54p squared, and then 45p. Make sure the p does come with it when you do the 9 times 5. Number 8. So we're distributing here, so we're going to get negative 36, x squared, and x squared is x to the fourth. And you can do this in your calculator, but I know that this is over 1. These 3's actually cancel each other out. So you're going to be left with a negative 2. Negative's still going to be there, but the 3 cancels the 3. So it's a negative 1 times the 2, negative 2. And again, if you just plug in, use your fraction function, it'll give you the right answer. And it's x squared times x, so this is x to the third. Number 9. Some fractions here. So again, if you get a little nervous with your fractions, just go ahead and use your calculator. Now, multiplying by 1/7, that's the same as dividing by 7. Anytime you multiply by a fraction that's 1 over something, that would be the same as dividing by 7. So first of all, here, that's going to be a positive 1/7. You're just timesing by negative 1, so positive 1/7, and that's going to be q to the 11th. 14 divided by 7, I'm going to get a negative 2, and that is q to the 10th. 112 divided by 7 is 16. It's a negative times a negative, so positive 16. Q to the 9th. And then think of this over 1, straight across. You're going to get 5 over 7. Doesn't do anything nice for us, so we'll leave it just like that. It is going to be a negative times a positive, so a negative 5 over 7. And the q to the 8th just comes with it. Don't let the fractions bother you. Number 10, a big long one here. So we need to do all the distributing first and then combine some like terms. So I'm going to do this right here. That's 2g, 6g squared, 38g to the third, negative 2g to the sixth. This is going to be a negative, so I'm going to write minus 3g to the sixth. This is g to the first. This is going to be a positive 2g squared. And this is going to be a positive 6g to the fourth. All right, and now we're just combining like terms. So the largest one I see here is to the sixth power, and I've got 2 of them. These need to go together. So that's going to be negative 5g to the sixth. I see a 4th power right here, and that's the only one. so plus 6g to the fourth. I see a third power here. It's the only one, so 38g to the third. Now I do see two squareds, so those need to go together. 8g squared. And this is the only g, so plus 2g. Number 11. This is one of those where those middle terms will cancel themselves out because we're multiplying the same binomial times itself. Only difference is a minus and a plus. So thinking ahead, you would have a 3b and a negative 3b from those two. So those will cancel each other out. So all we need is this and this. So we're going to have b squared from b times b, and we're going to have positive 9, and we're all set. Number 12, not a special case. So this one we just have to expand. So multiplying here, that is 16x squared. Multiplying here, negative 8x. Here, negative 4x. Here, positive 2. So those are going to go together. Final answer is 16x squared. This and this is negative 12x plus 2. All right, so we got to multiply all of this together here. What I noticed, though, is these will multiply nicely together because it's the same thing, just with the plus and the minus, so those middle terms will go away. So I'm going to go ahead and bring the 2 down and save it. I know 1 times 1 is going to be 1 squared, which is just 1. I would end up with a negative 6w and a positive 6w, so they cancel. And then these two, so again, I'm multiplying these and these, special case. So negative 36w squared. And now I'm going to go ahead and distribute this in. So I'm going to get a 2 minus 72w squared. And that's your answer. You'll notice on the answer key they've got it reversed. And if you decide to put this up front, nothing wrong with that. We've talked about that is standard form, so perfectly fine to write it either way. So number 14, we're going to have to distribute that 3 and multiply these polynomials. So you can do it in any order you want. The way we looked at it in class, though, is we saved that 3 for last. So I'm going to keep that out there. And we went ahead and distributed and simplified, and then 3 gets multiplied by whatever's left over. So let's go ahead and get all this simplified here. So that's going to be a to the third plus a squared. That's going to be a squared plus a. That's going to be a minus 1a and a negative 1. Okay, combining like terms, I have 2a squareds. A and a minus a will cancel. So I have a to the third plus 2a squared minus 1. And now I'm going to go ahead and just distribute that 3. So I'm going to have 3a to the third plus 6a squared minus 3. 15. So we're multiplying 3 binomials. So we're just going to do one at a time, and we'll save the one of them for last. So I'll just go ahead and save that one for last and just go right here. So we're going to have n squared minus 3n minus 2n plus 6. When you simplify that, you've got n squared minus 5n plus 6. And now we're going to times that by n minus 4. So we're going to do all that distributing here still. So we have n to the third minus 4n squared minus 5n squared plus 20n plus 6n minus 24. So combining like terms, this is my only n to the third. So that's going to be in my answer. I've got these two n squareds, so that's negative 9n squared. These two go together, so that's 26n minus 24. 16. Multiplying a trinomial times another trinomial. Not a lot of fun. So we're going to end up with 9 terms here. This times all 3, this times all 3, this times all 3. So first we'll start with the c. C times 2c squared, that's 2c to the 4th. 2 times c squared times negative 8c. That's a 1 times a negative 8, so it's negative 8. C squared and c makes c to the 3rd. And then times 1 will just be itself, so c squared. All right, so I've distributed the c squared 3 times. Now I got to do the same thing with the 10. So this times this is 20 c squared. Oh, c to the 3rd. This has a c and c squared, so c to the 3rd. Here is negative 80 c squared, and then times 1 is just 10c. And now the negative 4. So negative 8c squared, positive 32c, and then minus 4 against the 1. All right. So the only c to the 4th is that 2, so that's in our answer. I've got a negative 8c to the 3rd and a plus 20, so that becomes a positive 12c to the 3rd. Done, done, done. Lots of c squareds here. So I've got negative 80 and negative 8, so that's negative 88. And then I've also got a positive 1, so negative 87c squared. Done, done, done. C's go together. That's 42c, and the minus 4 tags along. All right, now we're doing 18 through 27. So we're going to factor these out. So for this one, 9 and 6, common factors 3. I have k's in both of them. Take the most you can. I can take 2 from both of them. Backwards distributing. So this is going to be a 3 to get the 9. And I'm at k2, so I need one more k. Plus, this is going to have to be a 2 to make a 6. I've already got 2, so I'm not going to put anything else on there. This would be my answer here. $19. Same idea. Now we just have variables to deal with here. So I have a u in both. I can take it out, and that's the most I can take out is 1, because I can only take 1 from here. I've got a v in both, and that's the most I can take out because I've only got 1 here. So in parentheses, what am I multiplying by to get u squared v? I've already got the v. I just need one more u to get the u squared. This would be a minus. And then what am I multiplying here? I've already got the u. I need one more v. That's it on that one. 20. Some bigger numbers here. So starting with just the numbers, it is going to have a y, just a 1y. So let's see if big 18 goes in. I'm assuming that it doesn't go into 93. Nope, not going to work. I know 9 goes into 90, so 9's not going in. What about 3? 84 divided by 3 is 28. 18 we know divided by 3 is 6. 93 divided by 3 is 31. Okay, so I can take out a 3 here. Now, normally when you see a negative up front, they'll take out a negative. I'm just going to take out a positive. There's not a right or wrong way to do that. So I'm going to take out a positive 3, and I can take out 1y. So 84 divided by 3 I already did is 28, and to account for that negative, since I didn't put it out here, it's got to go in here. So 28, and I need y squared to create a y to the third when I multiply. Now I'm going to need a negative 6 to get the negative 18, and just a 1y to get the y squared. And then 93 divided by 3 is 31. I need this to be positive 31, and I don't need to add another y because I've already got it right here for what I multiply. Remember, you can always double check these. Just redistribute it, get your answer here, and make sure it matches. Then you know you're good. So just looking at these first two numbers so far, the number that jumps out to me is 15. They're 15 apart. I know 15 goes into both of those. And now I get a 15 here, so that's looking real good as the number I should factor. So I've got 420. Let's make sure 15 goes in, and it does 28 times. So 15 is going to be my factor here. And then a bunch of A's and B's. So I'm going to take 15 out. I'm going to take an A and a B. 9, 6, 5, 3. The most I can take is 3. 5, 4, 3, 2. The most I can take is 2. All right, to get 45, I'm timesing by 3. I got to get to 9 A's, so I need 6 more from the 3. And I need 3 B's to get here. Okay, to get to 60, I'm timesing by 4. I need 3 more A's and 2 more B's. I need a negative 1 here. If you want to put the 1, that's fine. I need 2 A's, 3 and 2 make 5, and I need 1 B to get to the 3. And then I already did that division. It's 28. 15 times 28 gets me to 420. Already have 3 and 2, so I'm not putting anything on the 28. Okay, 22. Which one is completely factored? So let's take a look. First of all, this one's got a negative exponent, so we're not even dealing with that one. As I look at this one, letter B, all right, I can factor more out of this. I know I can take 2 out of this one, so that's no good. I can also take 2 out of this one, so that's no good. If it's completely factored, these numbers don't have a common factor besides 1. Okay, so 4, 3, and 15, they do not. I automatically know that this is going to be the correct one. It's letter D. These other ones can be factored further. All right, 23, a couple more looks at these special cases. So when it's squared, we know the first term is this squared, so p squared. We know the second term is this times this, doubled, so 6 times 1 is 6, doubled is 12p. And we know the last term is this squared, 36. Again, you could write this out as p plus 6 times itself, because that's what squared means. Go through all your distributing, and you would get here. I'm just getting there a little faster using that special formula. 24, negative u minus 5 squared. So it's going to be the first one squared. Now a negative squared becomes a positive. Negative times a negative is a positive. So it's positive 1 u squared. Multiply these together and double it. Negative 5 times negative 1. That's positive 5. Double it. That's 10 u. And then square this. That's positive 25. Same process. This squared is 121. Multiply these together. Now that's going to be a big number. So negative 45 times 11. Oops. Negative 45 times 11. And then double it. So negative 990z. And then the last one is going to be this squared. So negative 45 times negative 45. It's going to be a positive 2025 z squared. And if you put this in the correct order, it'll look like the answer key. First term squared, it's a negative 1 times negative 1, positive 1, w squared. Multiplying 2 times negative 1, negative 2, double it, negative 4w. Square this one, plus 4. And last one, number 27. The square of which binomial is this? Okay, so let's use our special formula here to look at it. To get the 64 c to the fourth, that comes from your first term squared, so it's going to have to be an 8. And then to get c to the fourth, times itself would be a c squared. C squared times c squared is c to the fourth. So I already know it's one of these two right here. And if I just look over here, I'm kind of going to have an issue, right? Because this squared is positive 25. This squared is positive 25. So that doesn't tell me anything. Because remember, a negative squared is positive. So I got to look right here. To get that middle term, I'd be multiplying the two together and then doubling it. So on this one, if I multiply them together and double it, I'm going to get a positive. I need a negative here. And so I know my answer here is letter B.